So I wanted to bring up something I noticed in Genesis the other day because I popped it open because I haven't read any of Genesis in a while. In Genesis 2, God said that if you eat of the tree, you will surely die. And I think we could all agree God's not the deceiver. But in Genesis 3, the serpent says, you will not surely die. Now, the men and women at the beginning of the Bible lived hundreds of years. And there was a twisted truth in what the serpent told them. The serpent told them that it will give them the knowledge of good and evil. If before that they couldn't die, then they had no knowledge of good and evil because there was no real way to betray each other. God knew that they weren't ready for that knowledge because in the state that they were in, they weren't ready and they would surely die. But the serpent was like, oh, it's iffy, you won't surely die. And I also double-checked the phrase in my KJV because I wanted to get a more direct translation. And it says the same thing. You will not surely die. And for whatever reason, whenever I read it over before, it seemed more like a direct lie. Like, you will surely not die. But this time reading it over, noticing those two words are not switched around at all. It's said the same way. You will not surely die. And that was the devil's half-truth. Almost like the dudes in the Bible back then had an idea of at least how to defeat death for several hundred years until we kind of lost that knowledge. Now, God said they were free to eat of any tree in the garden except from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So maybe they had already eaten from the tree of life. Maybe they were already immortal. But being able to die, and I'm reiterating again, being able to die is what actually gave them the knowledge of good and evil.